Hello and welcome back to the second half of two-day APAC Virtual Manufacturing Conclave. In the inaugural, we had seen the presence of top policymakers from two states of the country, one from Uttar Pradesh and one from the Tamil Nadu, in which both the officers, one was MD of UP Rescue and one was the CEO and MD of Guidance Tamil Nadu, in which both of them have highlighted what kind of initiatives have been undertaken in those two states to boost the manufacturing sector in their own respective states. And now we have come to the very important part of this two-day APEC virtual manufacturing conclave, where we'll have the industry presentations with us. And for that, we have with us Mr. Jayaprakash Chinnamuthu, Director, Customer Experience, Crestron, India. We welcome Mr. Jayaprakash. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
He'll be speaking on the digital workplace stepping into the future. And before that, let me just give an overview about the Creston. Creston is a global leader in workplace technologies, engineering, and transforming corporate automation and unified communication solutions for enterprise organizations across Fortune 500 corporations, campuses, facilities, and more, as well as a premium home automation provider who creates platforms and devices. With this, over to you, Jayaprakash, for your presentation on digital workplace stepping into the future.
Thank you so much. Uh, Welcome you all to the session on digital workplace, which is stepping into the future. Today, if you see, our workplace has transformed drastically, particularly post-COVID. The way we communicate with our peers and how our office spaces are is really changed differently from how it was earlier. Uh, First of all, what is this digital workplace all about? Digital workplace is to provide your employees with a seamless experience that is there, which promotes collaboration and also company culture within your organization. And all these technologies collectively work to bring increased efficiency within your organization, across your organization. The key important function that a digital workplace technology device does is collaboration in workplace. So workplace technology is constantly evolving, particularly if you see post-COVID, we have this hybrid workplace coming into picture. There are not always 100% of the people entered in a meeting to be physically present within the meeting space. You always have remote attendees, you have people outside organizations joining into the meeting virtually. So the technology in this workplace should be able to seamlessly bring all these people on a same single platform, and also to manage all these technology much more seamlessly. Uh, just a few numbers on digital workplace. If you see, 50% increase in productivity is seen when meetings are video meetings. So it's really important to enable your meeting spaces to be video enabled. 35% of workers use video call, feel more connected and more valued rather than just on an audio call. There's a huge revenue loss in terms of bad meetings. The meeting startup time, it takes a long duration to start a meeting, and a lot of people waiting to start this session and things like that. So there's a lot of numbers that are there, a lot of analytics that are there, which shows that there's a huge revenue loss in just starting a meeting or in a bad meeting experience. And they've also seen 80%, 87% increase in employee retention when they are more engaged, and increased engagements are there. So there's all these facts and figures that are there. What are the workplace challenges that are there? Workplace challenges, if you see, fundamentally it is the same for every space. Wherever you go into whichever meeting room or conference room, or whatever the space or training room you walk into, it should be simple to use. Should have high quality video and audio, because every time it should not be like, hello, can you hear me, can you see me, and things like that. It should be much more seamless system that is there. Technology should be optimized the way it should work, and it should be also easy to manage, monitor, and deploy. But the other side, if you see, not every space is same. Every space is different. You have private offices, you have small, medium conference rooms, large boardrooms that are there, special spaces like training rooms, auditoriums, classrooms, lounges. So you really need a lot of things for all these to work together. So the power of the platform is really, really key over here. So there are four pillars to it. One is a single platform solution, purpose-built devices, utilization, and scalability. Let us see one by one, much more detail. A single platform solution is something that is very easy to deploy, use, and manage. If you're going to have a mix of multiple different brands and OEMs and products in a particular meeting space, it becomes very difficult to deploy large scale deployments, manage, and use those systems rather than going on a single platform. Not only that, we have seen that there are different type of spaces. So you really require purpose-built devices that are there than generic devices that can do specific tasks which are specific to the space of the type of the space. So it'll promote equity in meeting spaces where you have remote and local participants on the same table, capabilities to wired and wirelessly present within the space, and to remote participants who are there, and localizing on all the technology that is there within the space. Another key important aspect that has to be considered while having a digital workplace is to measure utilization. So you have different meeting rooms, conference rooms, but really, do you know how frequently they are used, how they are used, who's using it? So the utilization, monitoring of these spaces, booking these spaces and using them. How many people have booked and not turned up? So the utilization is really key in knowing which spaces are being used and not being used. So in your future investments, it's easy to measure ROI and take decisions on future investments on expansion of your meeting spaces that are there. Scalability is important, both within the location, within cities, within countries. Uh, Deploying a single room or deploying hundreds of meeting rooms across your organization should be simple and touch of a button. So you can create templates, you could deploy rooms with templates. So scalability is really, really key in considering a digital workplace that are there. So we at Crestron provide two sets of solutions on one platform: the video conferencing and wireless presentation, which is inside the room, and the booking, utilization, and availability, which is outside the room. So we bring both on one platform solution that is there. Uh, Going into the video conferencing has really become inevitable in the post-COVID, where you have hybrid workplace. As we have been discussing from the start of the session, uh, bringing people on the same uh, common platform is really, really very, very important. A video conferencing system should have an inclusive experience that is there. In this, again, there are four key pillars that are there: standardization of room systems, purpose-built devices, how you present into the room, and how easy it is to scale and manage. Standardizing on room systems is really very important. You decide on what platform you're going to communicate, whether it is Teams or Zoom or WebEx. Then you decide on what systems are required for that, and you standardize on that, like small rooms, medium rooms, large rooms, and it becomes easy for you to scale up to different spaces that are there. So you really need purpose-built devices based on your uh, requirement that is there. It's based on how your organization works and not uh, the other way around. Purpose-built devices really help you to bring in the best experience in every space. High quality audio and video is really very, very important to ensure that everyone in the meeting is seen and heard properly in equity. Uh, Designing to promote inclusiveness is really very, very important, and equity in a meeting is really very, very key. Purpose-built devices are available in different form factors from Crestron: desktop devices, tabletop, front of the room, a wired wireless conferencing devices. All this put together brings in the purpose of ensuring that you really have the best experience. Purpose-built devices of Crestron also have the localization within the room. So this really ensures that it's pretty easy and simple to use your audiovisual systems that are there within the room uh, using the same single platform. When presenting into a meeting, there are different requirements. You want to present wired, you want to present wireless without connecting cables. So we bring all these technologies together within these meeting spaces where you could present locally or to a remote participant, both wired and wireless. Scalability and manageability using Crestron XAO Cloud becomes pretty easy. You can quickly deploy multiple rooms across the campus, across cities as well as across countries using the Crestron's award-winning XAO Cloud platform. The XAO Cloud really helps to create templates and push them to the room types pretty quick. And not only that, management. Tomorrow, when you want to upgrade something, you want to know which devices are working, not working, monitoring, all this becomes much more easier in terms of the Crestron XAO Cloud. Moving to the second part of the technology piece that we discussed is the scheduling. Here again, you have the same similar four pillars, I can say, is standardization of rooms, purpose-built devices that are there, uh, the presentation capability, and the scalability that is there. If you see, space booking is something that is really very, very important in the hybrid workplace. When someone is coming who's working from home and walking into office, he may not have a permanent desk. So desk booking is now becoming, or hot desking is really becoming a very key requirement in a lot of the digital workplace environments that are there. So we provide simple, seamless space booking systems that are there, which makes it easy for the employees or the users to book a space before they come to office, and they know which space they have to occupy and use. The availability and clear indication of the availability of spaces are also very key. So we have nice scheduling panels that go outside the room, which helps to know the availability of the room. When is the next meeting? Can I extend my meeting for another half an hour? So these kind of things are really pretty easy and simple and integrate into your core enterprise platforms that you're using a day in, day out. As we discussed earlier, the utilization, knowing who is in each space, how many people are there, people counting, knowing uh, which spaces are being used more, which spaces are not being used more, and tracking occupancy and compliance is really, really very important. Also, a system that is platform agnostic. You really need to have the hardware that you buy can support multiple platforms. So when you decide later to go from one platform to another platform, it shouldn't be rip and replace the hardware that is there. So Crestron provides hardware that is software agnostic and can really work with multiple platforms when you're going to switch from one platform to another platform. Similarly, scalability that we discussed on the video conferencing part, the same single award-winning platform of Crestron, the XIO Cloud, can also manage the same scheduling systems on the same single platform. The XIO Cloud ensures a secure way of deploying, managing, and monitoring systems that are there through a simple cloud portal. The Crestron ecosystem that we have seen so far in a digital workplace has got so many different pillars to it, and we bring all this on a single platform. And you see that we have the video conferencing solutions that are there, which are intended for a desk, for a small office, for a tabletop device, a front of the room, or wireless presentation. In scheduling, we have booking systems, you have availability, you have utilization. In the digital video content distribution, we have both localized AV and we have the AV or IP solutions that are there. And all this on top of this, we have the XAO Cloud platform, which is the award-winning platform of Crestron, which really helps to manage, monitor, deploy, manage, and monitor all these technology pieces that are there across your enterprise. Not just managing them, you could also use the remote control feature of Crestron to even remote control these platforms, these devices from the same single platform. With the last 5 minutes remaining, I would like to insist that there are a lot of things that are there which really need to be considered when you're doing your uh, say return to work. And when return to work, we really bring in a lot of expertise from our last 5 decade experience of Crestron in digital workplace. So we can work with your team. We have the experience center, and very nice experience center in Bangalore, wherein you could virtually or physically visit before you transform your spaces. If you're looking for a renovation or a new office, you can really grab a lot of ideas on how to build your office, how to build your meeting spaces, how to optimize that for the best collaboration experience that are there. We also have an in-house team who can consult and really uh, guide you on all these selection of technologies that are there, whether it could be video conferencing or scheduling or AV or IP or the localization of AV, including the remote management and monitoring. We have a team that can work with your team to ensure that these systems are properly implemented during the installation phase. And we also have a post-sale support team to support you in case if you do have any issues at a later date. Support is really very, very critical and key to Crestron. With this, just summarizing, I would like to thank you all for this time and very, very quick overview. And of course, you could always catch up with us in our virtual booth. We can really show you a lot of technologies that are there in our virtual booth. We invite you to visit our systems. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mr. Jayaprakash Chinnamuthu, Director, Customer Experience, Crestron India, for shedding some light on the future of digital workspace, what kind of solutions you're providing, and how it can help companies and organizations to connect with each other for from the workspace. And as Jayaprakash was saying, that you can get more information if you visit the virtual stall, which is there in which is part of this conference. So you can get more information there. Thank you so much, Jayaprakash, for your presentation. And with this, we move to the next industry presentation. That will be by Mr. Ajit Pillai, Regional APAC Director, Morphisec, and he will be speaking on breach prevention made easy. So I request Mr. Ajit Pillai to join us for the